I live in Cambridge, in England, and I have two sons who have challenged me to put together a family story, a family history. And as the great-grandchild of Captain Edward Miles, I cannot write about the family, the Miles side of the family, which is my mother's side of the family, without mentioning tin. So I've had to put myself on a crash course to learn about tin mining, and I have come to Phuket to see it all on the ground.
And today you come here to ThaiHua Museum in Phuket Town. Tell us first your first impressions. Is it the first time you've been here, and what you think of the pictures and background of the tin mining industry, including references and pictures perhaps of your great-grandfather?
Yes, this is the very first time I have been to Phuket. In fact, it's the very first time I've been to Southeast Asia to try and research it. And the purpose of coming here to this museum is to look and see what is stored here to do with tin. And the most exciting thing for me is to see a photograph of the very first dredge that was brought by Captain Edward Miles to Phuket to start dredging Tongkah Harbour after signing an agreement with the King of Thailand to be able to do so.
That was almost 100 years ago, or just over?
It was over 100 years ago that the dredge arrived. It came in bits from Scotland, and it was reassembled in the Pranee River at Penang. After it was reassembled, Captain Miles needed to tow it to Phuket. Nobody would insure it, and nobody would agree to tow it. So having been a master mariner in his earlier days, he decided, don't give up, I will tow it myself. So he bought from the Chinese a little steamer, the Padang, which was hitched up to the dredge, and they used the ladder for the buckets as the rudder for the dredge, and very slowly the tow began. He was on the steamer in front with one son, and on the dredge was another son, plus the future dredge master. It took them 4 days to bring it to Phuket, and within an hour of landing here, there was the most almighty storm which could have hit them any day during the 4 days. Very, very lucky.
So that was 1906.
It was 1907 that the dredge actually arrived here in Phuket, and this was just before Christmas. There were a lot of initial teething troubles because, of course, this was a very pioneering enterprise and people had never dredged out at sea before. However, with a lot of hard work and a lot of perseverance, and I have to say help from original Chinese miners who understood how to wash tin, they got the dredge going, and the very first 6 pickles of tin were dredged from Tongkah Harbour on the 6th of January 1908. And I am here in 2008 because I'm here to celebrate the centenary of this remarkable enterprise.
So you must be very proud, but also quite emotional even to see these sort of photos that you've never seen before. Yeah?
I'm very emotional to see the photos before, that I haven't seen before, because my parents met and were married in Singapore just before Singapore fell. My father became a prisoner of war on the Thailand-Burma Railway, and my mother was evacuated on one of the last ships from Singapore, the Empress of Japan. Therefore, all family records, all family photographs have been lost, and that's one of the reasons I've come all this way to see if we can fill some of the gaps.
Tell us also about this movie that's in the background here. It's a home movie, I gather, from Mr Parsons, who came 20 years after, was it, Captain Miles?
Yes, this is taken in about the 1930s, and it's a home black and white movie. It is extremely rare. an Australian has very kindly transferred the home movie to DVDs, which he is happy to make available to all those who are interested in the social history of the area. And there are many scenes in it that record Singapore before the war. There are pictures of floods in Phuket. There is also a picture of a dredger, which is not on the screen at the moment, but I believe what we're seeing at this immediate moment is some very important sports day. What the celebration or the occasion was, we don't know.
Thailand?
It's most definitely, we think, in Thailand, possibly Malaysia.
So you helped provide this movie for him?
No, my mother is still alive. My mother is 90 and she lives in England, and Damien sent me, the Australian, the DVDs to ask my mother to look at them very closely to see if she could recognize any of the Miles family in the pictures, and of course if there was anything special that she could help identify. Sadly, she didn't recognize her own father, one of Captain Miles's sons, Arthur Miles, and she doesn't really think that there is another Miles in the picture.
During your visit, you've been helped and escorted around by Ajahn Pranee, your previous historian.
I would not be here today. I am so grateful for all that she has done for me. She's helped fill many gaps, and I am very, very grateful.
Pranee, about the ThaiHua Museum here and how happy you feel as a Thai, a Phuketian, to see Tina, great-granddaughter of Mr Thomas.
ThaiHua Museum is like Phuket's history. And when you come here and see the movie, even it's the whole movie made by the Parsons family, and the one who has given us is DJ Hines. And this movie, I think it has showed the past of Phuket 17 years before I was born. So it must be very important to see how life is and what life is at that time. And in that picture, what is good is that, Farang thinks as Farang. So then they recorded like all what happened in Phuket just to make a report to their mothers at home. So then if it's, at that time the camera is very expensive. We don't have to talk about how to make movies. So if Thai people have that kind of movie makers or something like that, I'm sure that they will not take the movies on what happened in Phuket, because in Farang's eyes, they want to show some witness of how people live here and what do they live. And I'm so proud that I have a chance to see the woodcutter that can send the wood to Tongkah Harbour Company, and how we celebrate our New Year's and our Constitution Day. It's something great, I can say. And I can say that when I have heard that Christina Padbury, the great-granddaughter of Captain E.T. Miles, to be here, I'm so glad, because this is a clue to say that Phuket has an important role even in those days until now. And I would like to say, I have told Tina Padbury that when King Rama VI was the crown prince, he has used the pen name that has written the story of Captain Miles' team dredging, which used only 14 people, 14 laborers. Comparing to the open cast mine, who used more than 1,000 laborers, and he used the word like they work like ants. So then they have the same amount of tin ores. And if I would like you to notice that.
Thank you very much, Tina.